Hello, I'm Beryl Dakers. Welcome to Palmetto Scene, where we share with you the many amazing stories of people, places, and things right here in South Carolina. First up, an extraordinary young man who has left the corporate world and has taken his talents to a special place where young people are given a second and sometimes even a third chance to overcome life's challenges and pursue their dreams.
What we do is not about us. I love and I have a passion of working with youth, and I've learned from the students that, sometimes we have all the answers. But what we do is we find, really the answers that we're looking for in those that we, again, serve.
What would you have more of? I'd rather have more time. You have time on your side. The older you guys get, the harder it's going to become.
Willow Gray, we provide personal development, leadership development through our program called Empowered to Win University, where we work with students when they first arrive here at the school to kind of help get them acclimated to the culture, to the environment, which then we provide career readiness, a career success course that they participate in, which is 10 weeks. While they're taking that course, we provide what we call the Empowered to Win Youth Summit to kind of put those things now into practice. We're partners from Wil Lou Gray, from the Willow Gray community, partners that we've established to bring them here to give them better experience and better knowledge about the career field that they're choosing. But then also to give them some encouragement and let them know that there are possibilities out here, but you got to fight for it, and you can do it because it's within you.
Since I've been here in South Carolina, I've realized that there is a large percentage of students that are not in school for many reasons. And there is a large percentage of kids that want to finish early. So not too many places offer an opportunity as the Willow Gray Opportunity School, giving kids the opportunity to complete an education. And for those that want to start college early or other reasons, you don't find that too often. So this is great for the state of South Carolina.
It's designed for kids who haven't really had success around the state in their local schools, in their local districts. We'll take kids from all over the state of South Carolina who are at risk of dropping out or who are not having success. We have kids that also get vocational training. We have vocational training where we do computer science, we do building construction, and we do automotive technology. We do about 200 GEDs a year. Last year I think we had 194, the year before we had 201, and we average right around 200, which is a lot for the state of South Carolina. Those kids go back in, they are beneficial to the society, they go back into their communities, and they're productive.
Generally what you will find is because of the family dynamics, being raised by either single moms. Our son may have never had engagement with another man, so there's a challenge, there, because in their mind, I've been the man of the house. And there's this little boy inside, but he's 19 now. And so hearing directives from another male, it becomes a challenge. So young ladies, trust, you hear anger, a lot of challenges that young people have, they're real. But one thing that we talk about, within the class, with the course that we go through is that, okay, how many of these are actually challenges and how many of them are actually excuses?
The one thing that I'm learning about young kids is they definitely need mentors. They need someone that's in their corner. They need someone to listen. We talk at children, but we need to listen to them sometimes. Some of it might be father is gone, left the home. Sometimes it's the mother that's gone. Sometimes it's sexual abuse. Sometimes it's gang violence around that area. And so I think programs like this help them to see that there are people, first of all, who care for them, and secondly, that there are answers and solutions to problems. You just have to talk about it, discuss it, think about it. Kelly's had a passion for this for years. He loves children, he loves the young adults, he wants to make a difference, and everything I know that he's done has been in the lives of young people, trying to push them forward, trying to help them reach their goals, whatever those goals are.
I think it's important for me to go through this program because if I didn't, I probably wouldn't be in school. I was kind of ready to go home because I wasn't used to it, but it's helped me a lot with my attitude and working with people and talking to people and getting to know people. And I love the classes. They're actually better than regular school because you get the more hands-on learning and more experience stuff. It's teaching me discipline that I need and everything.
What is teaching me is that, again, what I thought I knew. There's more to learn. Going from what I like to say, from good to great, because that's an enemy. You know, you can do things good, but how can you do it, you know, in a great way? And I've learned that, and I've learned really how, from the students, we think, even from a mentoring standpoint, that, you know, sometimes we have all the answers. But what we do is we find, you know, really the answers that we're looking for in those that we, again, serve and those that we help. And so it's been just a full circle from Mr. Gaines, from the administration, that they really do care about their students. And I've learned from the students, I've learned from the cadre, that at the end of the day, again, it does take a village to make sure that our children win. So I'm just enjoying the process.
The coronavirus has taken a devastating toll on small businesses across the nation. But with the support of their local communities, a few small business owners have figured out how to survive, even in the midst of these difficulties. Two such owners here in Columbia share the stories of their businesses, how the COVID-19 pandemic has affected them, and how they are continuing to flourish throughout the struggles that 2020 has wrought.
Here at Fern, we started out doing weddings, and gradually the weddings got larger and the events got bigger, and we got so many phone calls from lots of people who were either former brides or had heard about our different style. It's just a little bit more airy and gardeny, and a lot of people wanted that just on a daily basis. So after continuing to get lots of phone calls and just interest from the community, we really realized there was a need here in Columbia to do kind of a different, newer, more modern style flower arranging for everyday life. We decided just last year to open a flower shop. So now we do deliveries and pickups for flowers for all kinds of events and special smaller celebrations. We have always been one to emphasize local flowers, and honestly we think that they're some of the prettiest flowers, just the ones that grow that are not super stick straight and engineered like from the big wholesalers. But once COVID hit, we realized that all small businesses were struggling like we were, so really decided to especially emphasize local flowers. So one of the farms that we've been using here in Columbia is Boone Fox Farm, and she grows some of the most beautiful product.
I own and operate Boone Fox Farm. It's a specialty cut flower farm here in Columbia, South Carolina. I lease half an acre from Clemson Extension out at their Sandhills Research Center. They started an incubator farm a couple years ago to allow new businesses in the farming world to kind of get their feet wet, try out a business plan before investing and diving into owning land, owning equipment. There's 3 growers here, myself and 2 others, and we all share equipment. We share a packing shed, a greenhouse. The lease begins at 3 years, and right now I'm in the process of looking for property as I'm entering into my 3rd season, so that hopefully as I'm going through my 3rd season, I can be getting another property ready. When I was at Clemson University, I started working at the student-run organic farm. Worked there for about 2 years, and then apprenticed and interned at another farm outside of Asheville. That's kind of when I got a firsthand look at what it means to run like a family operated farm, when the farm is your bread and butter and what pays your mortgage. And it was a very different view of what farming was, but I definitely fell in love with it. And that is also where I discovered flower production. Just the pure fact that I got to watch my own labor turn into a product that myself could use, that someone else could use, was very impactful to me at that time. And now going into owning a business that I believe is putting good into the ground, like I'm literally putting in plants that I know are safe to be grown here, that are safe for pollinators to come and pollinate. I'm growing organically. Even though this is a piece of land that I'm going to be leaving, I'm leaving it in better shape than when I found it. So that's kind of what planted the seed for my interest in flowers.
When COVID hit in March, that really was right at the beginning of our spring wedding season. And I think everybody was just unsure what to do and how it was going to affect events, but it ended up that a lot of our big weddings had to be canceled or postponed.
Entering into 2020, Farm to Table Event Company had a lot of events already planned. Fern had a lot of weddings already planned. So outside of my subscription service, I already had like allotted a certain amount of growing in my field to those businesses. Obviously, once March came around, all of those events were canceled, so I had to pivot.
We'd only been open maybe 6 weeks when COVID started and started shutting everything down. So we stopped allowing the public to come in, but still realized after a couple of weeks of being closed, there was still a need to celebrate birthdays and anniversaries and babies being born. So we've been doing mostly delivery, and then we started doing pickups again of flowers because people are still looking for ways to celebrate.
Luckily, Fern Studio continued to do weekly orders, so I still was able to supplement some of that to them. But I had to transition and do a lot of one-on-one sales with general public in Columbia. So I started doing a weekly order and delivery service. I already had a very dedicated group of people who bought my subscription service, and I always was getting more requests for that than I had supply for. So I was able to kind of tap into that, especially right now with people needing to be inside and needing to kind of create joy around them. Having cut flowers in their home has been a big deal this year. So I'm excited that I was able to continue my business through all of that. It was definitely encouraging to see that my community was supportive of that and needed that service as well. A lot of people are in my situation where we have the experience to be able to grow and to be able to create a successful business, but we aren't inheriting land. We're not inheriting, assets as far as equipment go. So it's a big hurdle to get into farming if you're not coming from a farming background or inheriting farming land. It is something for, I think, especially citizens in the state of South Carolina to be aware of, that our average age of a farmer is 55 to 65. Those people are retiring, and a lot of their farms are going to be potentially up for sale, and let's not let those go into development. Let's help create programs that help myself and the other farmers that are out here at this incubator farm find those connections.
As we're all adapting to COVID, we are looking to try to expand our offerings or get back to a little bit of what was normal before March. We've decided to open our flower bar back up to the public, which is where we invite everybody in and we do a big, beautiful display of all of the flowers and different seasonal blooms, especially highlighting local farmers. And we're inviting everyone to come back in with a mask and a social distance to try to keep people excited about celebrations and figuring out ways to continue to celebrate things in their lives without being able to have still the big events that we all used to be able to do.
These are still uncertain times, but a small town in South Carolina has chosen to celebrate its own. In Allendale, a great big thank you was presented to recognize those persons on the front lines of the community who on a daily basis not only protect the town from COVID-19, but also help to navigate the many other challenges faced by the citizens.
Just want to welcome all of you, and I want you to sit back and enjoy yourself. We have a very nice program planned for you. Thank you all so much for coming out to help us celebrate our hometown heroes today. This is a very special day for many reasons. We have lots and lots of things to celebrate today, but our special reason for being here is to celebrate those that are on the front line for us so that we can stay home and be safe.
We are experiencing a pandemic right now, and our world is no longer as we once knew it. And in a small town, and I'm sure in all small towns and all over the world right now, people are having to change from what they knew as normal, and we are being told that we should be staying home, and there are some of us that are not able to do that. I wanted to say thank you. It's a little word, but I wanted to do it in a big way. So I thought about, okay, what if we did a thank you that goes right by a busy highway so that everybody could see it? And then someone told me about Sophie.
Never done anything like this before. I spent a lot of time trying to design it and make it right, because this is technically like 8 tiny mini murals, and then the construction of the fence and with them all being cut out. I've never done lettering before, so it was also fun in the aspects of, you know, a new challenge.
We got together and I told her what was in my head, and she took what was in my head and put it on paper and sent it to me, and I said, that's exactly what I want. And it was thank you, large freestanding letters with all our frontline workers pictured on them in bright living color.
I'd like to say that I was so honored to be able to, you know, create this tribute for our community's essential workers. Many of the jobs featured in this piece aren't very glamorous, but they are the very foundation of our economy. Yeah, I have so much gratitude and respect for the workers like my sister Ava, who continue to go to work when many of us are sheltered in my homes. I did my best to show the way they should have been seen, or should be seen, as heroes.
There are many aspects that are truly uncertain, but the one certainty we have always known, and is more apparent today than ever, is the heart of the people of Allendale County. We are resilient and we are united. We stand together even when we are 6 feet apart. We support all those who have taken part in this pandemic effort, no matter how big nor small. We will continue to work together, and we will continue to celebrate all those hometown heroes, because that is what makes Allendale great. Let's give our heroes a round of applause. Thank you all so much.
To be able to, you know, promote and bring awareness and gratitude to, you know, the essential workers is something spectacular. See that everybody's coming together and has, you know, it's just as thrilled as I am. It makes me feel great.
That's what this day is all about. This day is about giving back to those that have been giving and giving and giving to us so unselfishly.
Betty Jo Rhea served as mayor of Rock Hill for 12 years. Often referred to as the People's Mayor, she spearheaded the development of several business parks which attracted international companies to Rock Hill. She also fostered a sports complex that has since paved the way for the city to be known as an amateur sports mecca. And she remains a steadfast champion of the arts, historic preservation, and beautification. Tonight's honoree, Betty Jo Rhea.
Get involved, be positive, be sure and vote. Don't sit back and not vote.
The advice of Betty Jo Rhea, who served as mayor of Rock Hill for 12 years and member of the city council for 8 years. At age 89, she's still involved and still positive. She hosts a half-hour local television program called The City Minute, and she remains a steadfast champion of the arts, historic preservation, and beautification. When you took over as mayor of Rock Hill, unemployment was over 17% and only 1 out of 13 textile mills was open.
Exactly.
So how did you go about diversifying the economy and turning that around?
Well, it was really important that we do that, and we started our own business parks, and people could come and buy property there cheaper than they could in Charlotte. And we had an economic development corporation that really got out and really tried to get new companies to come here. We got several international companies to come.
Ray credits a statue, Casey at the Bat, as a prime mover in the city's turnaround.
And we decided that that was a good way to draw the people in town into Casey at the Bat. So we leased him for a year. We saw him and thought he was fabulous. Then the children in Rock Hill decided that they were going to raise the money to pay for Casey at the Bat. And it was great because people would send me their little piggy bank money, and they'd have bake sales and do all kinds of things.
And eventually they acquired the statue, and Casey still reigns at Cherry Park.
This one grandmother told me when she picked up her grandson at school one day, it was raining. She said he started crying and he wanted to go to Cherry Park. And she said, why? He said, I've got to go see about Casey. And she said, why? She said, he's getting wet, he doesn't have an umbrella. So it became really something.
A really
like
icon
that.
for the city.
But once it opened, it became a very attractive money raiser as well.
Casey at the Bat wasn't the only thing that turned around the city. It took a vision.
We started a program called Empowering the Vision, which was looking at all of our strong points in Rock Hill. Committees that we appointed to different things, and like we had a beautification committee, a cultural committee.
And it hasn't always been that easy.
Then I was on council for 8 years and really involved with what we were doing with Parks and Recreation. In fact, the mayor asked me if I would chair the sports complex, which we had decided to build here. And I said, oh, I'd love to do that. Then he turned on it. So it got very controversial. I mean, I have many whiplashes on my back for that.
Undaunted, Ray pursued the vision, and one sports complex has paved the way for a city that is now known as being an amateur sports mecca. From baseball and softball, the city has added facilities including soccer, tennis, and cycling. In 2017, Rock Hill was the proud host of the BMX World Championship, an international cycling event that will return to the city in 2024. And all that fits just fine with Betty Jo Rhea's lifelong vision.
A city that is a positive city, a city that has things happening, that people have jobs. I feel like that's so important, that they have things to do in their spare time that are positive things.
For more stories about our state and more details on those stories you've just seen, please visit our website at palmettoscene.org. And of course, don't forget to follow us on social media, whether Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, at SCETV, #Palmetto Scene. We leave you with tonight's Palmetto postcard from the crystal clear waters of Lake Jocassee. For Palmetto Scene, I'm Beryl Dakers. Good night, stay strong, and thanks for watching.
Devil's Fork State Park was established in 1991. It's one of our newer state parks here in South Carolina. It is the only access to Lake Jocassee for the general public. Here at Devil's Fork State Park, we have 20 mountain villas. There are 15 two-bedrooms and 5 3-bedroom available for reservations all year round. They come supplied with all your basic cooking supplies that you may need and your basic linens and things like that. There's also wood-burning fireplace in most of them. Some of them where we're actually upgrading to our gas fireplace. Our villas are available year-round and up to 13 months in advance currently. Every weekend we are pretty much well booked, so if you really want to get that perfect view of Lake Jocassee, we go ahead and suggest you make that reservation 13 months in advance. There is some development around Lake Jocassee, so you do have some private homes over here. There'll be some private homes towards the Bag Creek project, but really once you get out and into the rivers of Jocassee, it's just pristine wilderness. No development. You feel by yourself.
And even though the park may be at capacity, the lake is not at capacity. It's about 3/4 of a mile to get from the remote ramps to this overnight boat-in sites. Along this bed, there are sites. This road bed, there are sites, and there's 13 currently. We'll actually expand that to 25 sites. They're very rustic, and for those who are looking for that premium experience of being by themselves and away from the hustle and bustle of the city life, this is one way of really doing it.